It's June. It's basically summer. The sun's shining, the birds are chirping, and it's time to find out what the Beast will read. June 2024. Woo! Alright, welcome back, all my BEA beautiful beasties. It's me, it's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. And today we're going to do my TBR, kind of an interesting one because the channel's starting halfway through the month of June 2024. So we are going to do TBR for kind of what we're going to do a TBR for part of the month. I'll do my weekly wrap-up at the start of next week for what I'm reading this week. You'll get to see that. I'll talk about what I'm reading this week for this TBR, and then what I'll read the rest of the month. And then when I do my weekly wrap-up, I'll talk about what I read in the beginning of the month, and then what I'm reading this week, so that you'll be all caught up and ready to rock and roll. So yeah, TBR, to be read, or The Beast Reads. Let's get to it and see what I'm reading this month. So, I do my TBR a little different than most people probably. I have some different categories that I'm going to keep track of, different types of books that I read. So I have my main book that I read every week, so that I get 4 books in a month. So that's one thing, the main book of the week, no matter what, will be read. Then I have a novella or short story collection that will be the focus for that. You know, a short book, novella, short story collection, something like that I'll read every week. And then I have a graphic novel that I'll read every week, and a manga that I'll read every week. And those things for sure, those 4 things will be read every week, so 4 of each of those per month. And then I have a tome, I say that wrong, a tome, a huge book, you know, something that's 600-700 pages or more, that I'll be focusing on reading throughout the month. I might get it done quick and get it done in a week if it's something that I really love. I mean, I don't read anything I don't really love. I mean, that's not true, but it's usually something I'm trying to catch up on, or something new for a series that came out. You know, think Stormlight Archive kind of books, which I haven't read yet, which I'm going to do. That's going to be a different video, eventually talking about things I want to read. But Stormlight Archive, I have read none of those. I'm actually listening to an audio Warbreaker right now, and then I'm going to start the Stormlight Archive. I've read the first trilogy of Mistborn, which was awesome, really loved it. And I want to read the second era, but I know I should read Stormlight first, so I'm going to do that. Try to get all those in so that I can read the new one in December with everybody. So I'm going to be trying to read one of those per month at least, leading up to December. But right now I'm working on something else, which you'll see in a minute. So I have one of those. And then I have some, what I like to call dabblers. Usually there's an extra book that I'm just kind of reading if I feel like I need to switch it up off of these things I read all the time, or that I'm for sure reading. So I usually have one of those, and then something indie, something on my Kindle maybe when I can't be reading a physical book in my hand. I usually have an audio or a Kindle book, and if I already have all this stuff, I make sure that's an indie read. So yeah, it's kind of how my TBR goes. It's a little wonky, but it works for me, and it's fun to have a lot of different things, and it's going to be fun to talk about a lot of different things with you on my wrap-ups. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. So first up, I've got my weekly books. So I won't talk about what I already read. I'll talk about that in my wrap-up, but I will talk about what I'm reading this week. So this week, my first, not my first weekly book of this TBR. I already read something I'll talk about it in my wrap up. Um, but my first one that I read this week is The Last Spy Hunter or Fee Hunter. I'm not sure. I know it's. I've heard other YouTubers say it, and I've seen it in comments. I know there's a correct way to say it, but I can't remember if it's Fee or Fi, or it might not be either one. I think, but book is awesome. I'm a little over halfway through already. I'll finish that up this week so that I can talk about it on my wrap up. But it is really cool. I've read the first volume of Chainsaw Man. That's a manga that I'm getting through, and it's a lot like that. Like X is a hunter, and he hunts fees, or demons, monsters, and these hunters can kind of like take the carcass of this demon monster and try to sell off parts for money, rise up through the ranks. It's really cool, really cool. I'm enjoying it a lot, but I'll talk about it in the wrap up. But yeah, I look forward to that. That's going great. Then another new release from this month that came out, How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. Really excited about this one. I've always wanted to read his other books, and I haven't yet, so I'm looking forward to starting to see if I mesh with his writing. But this is pretty cool. It's about a heroine. She's caught in a time loop trying to stop this Dark Lord, and she just keeps dying and dying and dying. So finally she decides, when she's reborn, starts over, she's going to become the Dark Lord herself. So sounds like it's going to be a fun read. So I'm going to do that this month. Then I'm also going to do Dreadful. This is a cool short one. Cool edition from Barnes & Noble with these cool sprayed edges. Love sprayed edges. But yeah, this one sounds pretty cool. When I first saw it, I thought, is that like YA? Is it going to be a romantasy or a cozy fantasy or something? But it actually sounds pretty cool. It's about this guy who wakes up in this castle, doesn't have any memory of anything, and he has all these underlings, goblins working for him. He's at the head of this castle. He has a princess locked in a dungeon, and no idea why any of it's going on. So it's about him faking it, trying to until he makes it, right? Fake it till you make it. Trying to figure things out as he goes along. Sounds really fun. Can't wait for that one. And the other two I'm going to try to read this month are two ones that are not out yet, so I don't have them yet, but I will have them when the time comes, and you'll probably see them in a look ahead or a wrap up. But there is a book called, and I'll put the picture up somewhere, but there is a book called The Witchstone by Henry Huff, I think it is, Henry Huff, something like that. But that one sounds pretty cool. It's like a demon who is kind of the protagonist of the story. So a demon that's a good guy, and just sounds pretty cool. So I'm excited about that one. We'll talk about that more when the time comes. But I can't quite tell if it's like an urban fantasy, like set in a regular city, or if it's a fantasy set, and if it's in a completely fantasy world, or like or like regular world, but with demons and stuff. So it sounds pretty cool. But yeah, I'll talk about that one more as we get closer to when I'm going to read it. And the last one of the month is The Daughter's War by Christopher Buehlman. Really looking forward to that one. I got one of the first books I went to the store and bought when I got into BookTube and started reading again was The Black-Tongued Thief, and I read probably, I don't know, the first 20-25% of it and was really digging it. And then I don't know, like I used to all the time with my reading, I didn't have a system, and I kind of stopped reading it and never got back to it. And I was going to this year, and then I heard that was coming out, and it's a prequel, so I think I'm just going to read that first, and then I'll jump into The Black-Tongued Thief after. So I'm looking forward to reading that. Then Novellas. So I just finished, this week I was reading and just finished, it was pretty good. Tales of the Sun Eater, Volume 1 by Christopher Racchio. Put the picture up here because I read that on my Kindle. And yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot. I'll talk about that in my wrap up, but enjoyed it. And now I can get into the next book, which is the one everyone says is so good, Demon in White. So I'm really pumped. That's probably going to be a Dabbler, even though it's not on here. I've been wanting to read one of those per month, but it's just so good. I'll probably be reading it on the side, but I won't let it interfere with some of these other things. Um, but yeah, so that was really good. Then next, I'm gonna read "When Among the Crows" by Veronica Roth. She wrote the Divergent series. I saw the movies, never read the books, but the movies are pretty good. But this is a novella, has a cool cover, but it's about a monster hunter, and just sounds pretty sweet. So we'll talk about that more when I get ready to read it. And then after that, instead of reading more novellas, I'm going to focus on finishing up the short story collection by Stephen King. If or you like it darker, I've heard great things about this from other YouTubers. Obviously, Mike loves it, and from Mike's book reviews, and he's one of my faves. He's Stephen King expert, so when he says it's good, I know it's pretty good. But I'm excited about this one. Bunch of short stories, so I'll just focus on those the rest of the month after I read When Among Crows. Then my tome that I'm working on, and I'm about a third of the way through it already this month, is Empire of the Damned. So loved Empire of the Vampire, and now I'm really excited, loving this. I love the characters, love Jay Kristoff's writing and the world building. It's just so cool. Love it. I'll talk about it more in my wrap up when I finish it up. Then graphic novels. I'm going to focus on finishing up The Sixth Gun. This is the omnibus #1. It's got the first 17 issues in it. Well, actually, it's got, hold on. So it's got the first 17, and then it's got 1 through 5 of The Sixth Gun, Sons of the Gun. So it's got another little bit in it. So it's 22 issues total. I'm about a third of the way through. It's really good, awesome art. Um, it's just a supernatural Western, really, with some guns that have special powers, and when a person picks it up, they're like bound to it, and the only way to take it from them is to kill them. Um, some people are trying to bring back this evil spirit of this uh, guy that died, and um, there's ghosts and monsters and all sorts of stuff, and it's really cool. Really enjoying it. We'll talk about that more when I'm done with it. But after I finish that up, or before, or in the middle of it, I do want to read Doombreaker, which is a graphic novel. It's another time loop, but the main character, he is going up against this evil entity and their army of monsters and stuff, and he ends up getting killed. But then he's actually reincarnated and sent back 10 years prior. I think it's 10 years prior. Let me see. Uh, Yep, 10 years into the past, and he's going to try to save humanity and stop everything from happening. So, looks really cool, and Webtoons is really cool if you don't know what that is. A lot of indie comics on there. It's kind of like Royal Road, something like that, or Wandering In, where you get chapters every week or so often, and you can read them for free. I really liked, I think it was Everything is Fine, where they wear the big bear heads. That one's pretty cool, dark comic, but yeah, Doombreaker. I'm excited to check this out. Then for my mangas, I have the first 2 volumes of Death Note. I read the first one, really liked it. So I'm gonna read the second one of that. Then I have like the first 6 or 7 of Attack on Titan. Read the first one, really liked it. So I'm gonna try to read 2 and 3 this month. And also from my library, they haven't come in yet, but I'm waiting. I had to order in because my library has some, but doesn't have a lot of stuff. So I'm waiting for volumes 2 and 3 of Chainsaw Man to come in. When I get those, I'll read that. Volumes 2 and 3 of One Piece. I read the first one, really liked it. So waiting for those to come in, and that'll probably be enough. There's a lot of other ones. One Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist. Spy Family, love that one. I've read the first volume of all those, and I'm excited to keep going with them. Tokyo Ghoul. So yeah, a lot of manga I'm gonna start reading. So look forward to that. And then finally, my Dabblers. I'm reading this one right now. It's called Heaven Breaker, book by Sarah Wolf. It's pretty cool. The protagonist is a young girl, well, young woman. She's like 18, 19, something like that. But it reminds me a lot of Red Rising. She's just trying to get revenge for loved ones that were lost at the hands of some noble, higher up people. And the way she's doing it is she is fighting in these machines. They're kind of like I don't know, trying to think of like Pacific Rim, like cool big machines like that that fight each other for these different houses. And she's fighting in one, and then there's a lot of political intrigue and stuff going on behind the scenes, and it's just really good. Really gives me Red Rising vibes. I really love the characters in this, and yeah, and this is a really pretty edition. I just got it from Amazon, but you can find them anywhere. Cool sprayed edges, really nice cover artwork throughout. It's just, yeah, pretty sweet. I really like it, enjoying it. I'm about halfway through, so I'll finish that at some point this month. And if I get that one done, my next Dabbler is going to be 5 Broken Blades by me, Corland. But this one sounds pretty awesome. It's about 5 blades trying to take down the God King June, who is just, an evil empire, and they don't get along. They can't trust each other. In fact, the tagline is "Let the best liar win," because they're going to try to take down the king, but then only one of them can take over. So it does just seem really cool. This is a really nice edition from Goldsboro, signed by the author that I'm part of their subscription. But even the one that you can get in stores anywhere is really nice. It's red, but it's a lot like this, just red and dark blue or black instead of shades of blue, but love it. Excited to read that whenever I finish up Heaven Breaker. And the other Dabbler that I'm working on, trying to finish this month, is the first book. I actually have it here. I'm reading it on my Kindle too, but I do have the awesome Broken Binding edition of A Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. I'm about halfway through it, so hopefully I can finish that up this month or early next month and keep going with the series. I read The Fall a while ago and loved it. Really enjoy the story so far, and I'm excited about getting into it more. And yeah, I'll have to do I've got some pretty cool additions of things from subscription services and things I found out in the wild. So I'll have to talk about those more eventually in a video and show you some of the cool books I have. But yeah, that is my TBR, The Beast Reads, for June 2024. Thanks for being here, like always. If you have not yet, like and subscribe so that we can keep growing this channel and this community. Thank you so much. It means so much to me that you take the time on your day to watch one of my videos. I hope you enjoyed it. Can't wait to talk to you about all these books I'm going to read this month. And thanks again for being here. Leave a comment below. I'd love to chat with you. Let me know what your June TBR is, how yours is going, what you've read so far, if you've read any of these books, and what you think about them. And yeah, I can't wait to talk to you. So thanks again for being here. In the meantime, till I see you in the next video, devour those TBRs, be beautiful to each other, and be beastly. See ya.